down the Elliott rabbit hole, and we're going to talk about ABC corrections. And I'm going to show you a lot of them and what happens when ABC corrections come in certain markets. And once again, tie together all of the mantras that we continue to tie together. The ABC corrections are a very key piece of the puzzle in my mind. Okay, first ABC correction, when we're just looking at good old Bitcoin on the daily chart, the one that stands out to me as the most obvious one on the entire chart is A, B, C, the heart wrencher. That is the basic one that jumps right out at you, right? Before that, I don't even see any ABC correct. I literally don't see any ABC corrections on this chart besides this one going all the way back to January 10th, 2021, literally. So we're due for an ABC correction, right? And we've already talked about how this top here was the top of wave 3. The ABC correction came in at the end of wave 3, at the start of wave 4 down. That's what this is. All the way down here is the end of that ABC correction. See the heart wrencher from this top to this bottom to start another 5-wave move right here. Literally, you could go, oh, let's just, while we're at it, let's talk about this 5-wave move within the larger 5-wave move. 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, 5 up, right? Something like that, right? And then you're going to have an ABC correction after that. But this is actually a grand ABC correction because this ABC correction here is all the way back from the start of the 5-wave move that we addressed in the last video, right? This kind of stuff. Actually, I can just use it freehand, right? 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, 5 up here, and then we're in that ABC correction here. And of course, why does it matter that we're talking about ABC corrections? We'll tie it once again to all the mantras that we've said so many times, because we're looking for the 702 retracement to come in so we can have that altcoin season that we've seen at a previous 702 retracement during an ABC correction, right? We had the A wave down, we had the B wave up to the 702. Well, what does this look like to you but a grand A wave down for the first leg of an ABC correction after the 5-wave move that began in March 2020? Now you have the turnaround point from this move. That's literally 2 years old now. 2 freaking years old. Grand ABC correction coming in here. A wave down looks like it might be complete, right? And I'm actually going to argue for why I do believe it is in fact complete in a second. But before I do that, if we know that A wave down here, that's going to give us the start of our B wave coming up. And of course, the B wave coming up has a little 5-wave move in there. That hasn't formed yet, but of course it will. And then we're working our way up to the 702 to start the top of the C leg down, right? So just to write it one more time, crystal clear, A wave down. This is now a B wave up approximately to the C, the C, which is the heart wrencher, right? Always the heart wrencher on the C. That's when you're breaking that like deep new low. And then you see the 3-headed reversal structure, right? That's why it's perfect. It's like literally basics because you get a lower high and a lower low. And that's your ABC correction on basic terms. So now let's talk about proportions, right? If we had a big altcoin movement during this time, off a relatively small percentage move, well, maybe we could think that we're going to have maybe a larger altcoin season off of this percentage move. And then even go back further with our ABC corrections. And let's just take a look at this big old ABC correction, right? So basic one, where the altcoins came in, A down, B up, that's a 702 we've discussed. C is the heart wrencher. So you have an altcoin season coming here, and guess what? This percentage, about 10,000 up to about, 17,000, that's not as big a percentage as what we would expect to see up here because this crash was larger. This was a 52%, almost a 53% crash. I mean, that's saying something from the top, right? Let me show you another ABC correction angle on here that might drive that point home a little bit even farther. Flip that sucker upside down, right? Who hasn't done this before, right? This is like classics. Because you're always just trying to get rid of your bias, right? So what do we see down here but a massive ABC correction, right? This is an ABC correction. A down, B up. C is the heart wrencher, right? C is the lower low, right? It's lower than the bottom of A. So there's your C heart wrencher. And now you have a 5-wave move that's moving in this direction, right? The price is going down here, but it's moving this direction. So we've now started an ABC correction for the first leg downwards for Bitcoin, right? So you had wave 1 up. You're now in wave 2 down. And wave 2 down is what's going to bring us to 702, right? Maybe you're confused now, but if I flip it back up just to show you what I mean. So this is now going to start a move in the other direction because we just had this massive, as we pointed out, this massive reversal structure, this 3-headed reversal structure. But when this C heart wrencher leg comes down, that's wave 3, right? This is wave 3 of a 5-wave move that started here. Wave 1 as the impulse upward move. Wave 2 as the impulse downward move. Wave 3 as the impulse upward move. Drive that point one more time. And look how all the pieces fit like crystal clear clockwork, right? Because now this is the beginning of a 5-wave move in this direction, right? So hopefully that makes some sense. Hopefully I didn't lose you here, but let's get into altcoins. Let's get into more specific things. Actually, you know what? Before we get into altcoins, we got to look at the Dow Jones again. We have to do our homework, right? This is not going to be accomplished unless we really commit to our thesis and believe in these theses, right? So let's just take a look at the Dow Jones and see what's happening here. As I've said, right, if Bitcoin started a 5-wave move that began in March 2020, well, looks like the Dow Jones also did. Now, the difference is I think the Dow Jones still has one more leg up because it hasn't reached out to the 4.236 extension. As I discussed in the previous video, I've already made the claim that this is a 5-wave move that began at the end or beginning of the financial crisis, right? Whatever, when this massive bull market started, right? Wave 3 is the long wave. All of these ABC corrections in here. That's why ABC corrections are so important to identify, because they really help you see the 5-wave moves that are surrounding them. So you have to be able to differentiate those ABCs. So you see that ABC here, and then you can see that larger 3-wave upward motion, 1, 2, 3. And then, of course, within those 3 waves up, there's 5-wave moves in them, right? And so we're in a 5-wave move on the 5th wave of a 5-wave move that began around this time, Look at that. March 2009 is when those began. What's up with March? Seriously. It's good. All right, so look how this could actually turn out in the end here. So you're in a 5-wave move that just got started, right? So look how much upside you have on Dow Jones coming out of this ABC correction, which we've already discussed. This is coming off an ABC correction right here. On the weekly chart, difficult to see. Let's zoom in a little bit, see if you can see it more clearly. There it is, the most crystal clear thing you've ever seen. A down, B up. See the heart wrencher all the way down. Now you start a new move to the upside, a new 5-wave move to the upside after that reversal ABC correction. And that's, of course, a 5-wave move. And if it aligns with, the 4.236 extension on this structure that began in 2009, well, then you're going to have an ABC correction off of that move, which is a part of the larger ABC correction, which I talked about last time, of course. Now, one thing I want to show you again, just to I have not even talked about the SPY in a long time, because guess what? The SPY already hit the 4.236 extension. And guess what's funny? I actually predicted it. I literally did. I know it's like, I hate to brag about stuff like that, but I did. I drew that little line after it reached over the 4.236 extension. I'm like, okay, you're going to get a head and shoulders coming in, just like basics. That's literally what happened. Now, it's not impossible that the SPY literally might actually go up another leg. I guess that's possible, right? Because all the same rules apply of Elliott waves in the SPY. Let's do it. Let's do our homework, right? Can we see a 5-wave move here? Is this the end of a 5-wave move? Ooh, I'm going to go on my instincts right now. I'm going to go, this is wave 1. Up, because now we see that ABC correction here. That's obvious. A, B, C, crystal clear. And now we're going to start, Whew. Yeah, I'll be generous though. Ooh, that's a tough call. Because look at that right here. That looks like maybe the start of an ABC correction. So if that's the ABC correction there, A down, B up, C the heart wrencher down, well, then maybe you just completed the 5-wave move there, and then the SPY is in fact done, which would make sense because it already reached the 4.236 extension, which is why I started looking at the Dow Jones, because the Dow Jones hadn't reached the 4.236 extension, and I could make a crystal clear case for the fact that this sucker has not completed the final move of this 5-wave move that began in March 2020. But my essential point in talking about the Dow Jones is because the Dow Jones is essentially the stock market. The stock market needs to have upside if we think there's any upside in any other financial markets. In the same way that we have to think Bitcoin has upside if any of our altcoins have upside. So that's the whole grand story I've been weaving together. And there you go. Let's talk a little bit about a few things that are kind of setting up here. We definitely, honestly, it's like definitely the start of like altcoin season. It really is. It's like the faint glimmer it's coming. Look at this like perfect bull flag on UMA. This thing looks pretty freaking bullish. Like next week, this sucker might have done some big old moves. Bitcoin is still controlling the thing, but if Bitcoin is down in this part of the range here, well, its next realistic thing is probably going to move up to the upside even just a little bit. Even just a little bit. If Bitcoin moves to the upside even a little bit before coming back down to hang out in this range for a longer period of time, something that's already got that much momentum like UMA, well, it might, rip hard. So that's what I mean. That's the start of altcoin season. It's really early. You're getting those faint glimmers. I even think NuCypher looks particularly bullish. Look at this little structure that NuCypher broke out of. Crush the 702 on this little structure here, and you can, however you want to look at that structure, but either way, NuCypher really did break out. And so what do we think the next target is? Well, based on this alignment of the 4.236 extension on this little structure going pretty close to the 702, I do think, NuCypher going into 170, 175 is definitely on the cards. I think then you'd have a pullback though. After that, it wouldn't just bust through there. You'd have a pullback before maybe working your way into these levels. So that's the same kind of setup that I've been talking about. Let's take a look at, Jesus Christ. Like, look at all this stuff because, these setups, it's like time. You want to go into Elliott waves on this stuff. I mean, come on, so freaking basic here. Wave 1 up, wave 2 down. You're about to hit wave 3 up, son. And how many times have I said that wave 3 up is the big one? It's like the big one. So I do think we're coming into a pretty bullish phase for altcoin seasons, based on the fact that, if you do Elliott waves, you can make a strong case for wave 3 coming in here that bounced off of March 2020 all the way back. If I'm going back as far as, 2015, all of those big time frames, massive time frames. Yes, I've said we're in that perfect moment of synchronicity. Well, now you see it when you zoom out. It's not always like this. You're not always on the precipice of the most like epic move of all history, right? But you literally are. And look at the price of Dash right now. I'm just singling out Dash because it's really all the freaking same at this point, but $89. The low in March 2020 was $31. Dash is not far at all from its low right now. I mean, this is a crazy good buy. I mean, all of these coins really are at this point, if you kind of see them through the eyes of Elliott Wave, and also how much distance they have to cover just to get through their 702 retracement. And then, depending on where Bitcoin is at this time, right? Because there's the situation where a lot of these coins could go to a 702 retracement before coming back down or something like that. And that's a large move, right? From $1,000 all the way back down to 420. You'd want to sell, right? You'd want to hopefully sell that. So how would that align with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin may come up to test one of these Fibonacci levels before actually reaching that 702. And so that's why you could have two moves in the altcoins, one up to a 702 and then one up to a higher Fibonacci level. So in the case of Bitcoin, if it's working its way up here, you could totally have something like this. Like this is all wave, 1 up in this little 5-wave move going to the 702, wave 1 up maybe. Wave 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, 5, right? Just something like that. That's all possible. So in these times, insane volatility, right? Like hilarious, like dystopian volatility in these swings, right? Every swing down, the markets are going to be like, it's going to zero, it's going to zero. Like people's emotions are so like just they're right on the edge right now. And that's why these markets are right on the edge. You know, people's psychology is about to explode, and we're seeing, you know, assets explode, right? Like oil. We've all heard the story of oil. Oil's going absolutely psycho on the daily chart, breaking through the 702 retracement based on the 2008 high right before the financial crisis crash, right? Like, so this is a big sign. This is the crazy eruption signs that you're going to see. You're going to see explosions of money movements all throughout markets. They're going to be short-lived, right? Oil's going to sell off at some point. It might go to like, I don't know, 150. I don't freaking know. Like, like stupid charts. Screw that. I don't want to get too deep into oil here, but oil is probably going to keep going up for a little while. Not that long. By next week, oil will probably have turned the corner in the same way that, you know, any of these, you know, cryptos, when they start pumping, I don't even know. I'm just any of them. They're all in that double bottom reversal. Like they're all making a clear reversal. They all have this 702 setup, right? There's going to be obscene volatility when these markets start ripping based on how much percentage points there are between where we currently stand and basic retracements such as 702s and beyond. I mean, Ren goes literally 4x just to get to the freaking, you know what I mean? Like, good God, right? So hold on to your hats, you know, but like this is the exciting time, you know, it's all coming together. Everything is perfect. You got to be patient. You just got to like wait out these patterns and stuff and make art in the meantime. That's the key, right? Make art, sit in the sun, all the chances you get, and study fives. Honestly, I've been getting deep into fives, you know, I'm always revisiting fives. Oh, it's like back when I was studying more music all the time, it's like fives, this stuff tripped me out so much. Oh, back to fives, back to Elliott waves, learning about fives and micro macrocosms. So good.
Now you know everything about Elliott waves and 5-wave moves. You know about Bitcoin and the stock market. You know about the